Hey guys, how's it going? Azoh here. Today we will be taking a look at set builds for Season 6. Now I'll give you 3 sample builds if you just need immediately a build right now because you're in game and you just panicked, looked up a video. Here we go, here are 3 builds, just do them in this order. And good luck with the game. For the rest of you who are not in quite as much of a hurry, the issue with posting an item build like that is that Season 6 is a bit more situational than the previous seasons. You can definitely get away with building the same items every game, but it's a bit more varying in my opinion. So let's start by taking a look at the items you do build every game. The items being Yomu's, Ghostblade and Black Cleaver. I cannot find a single situation where these items would not be good on Zed. If you're against squishies, if you're against tanks, if you're ahead, if you're behind, if you're doing even, if you're getting blown up, whatever situation you're in, these items are just fantastic. This is of course if you know that you can play around CDR. I know some people have an issue with that. If you can't do that, skip Black Cleaver, stick with only Yomu's and go something else instead. You'll be at 10% CDR, you should be fine, but normally for most players 30% is completely fine. Even if you're going runes for CDR going up to 40%, that is also fine as long as you can manage it properly. Moth and Mortis should be pretty self-explanatory. You build it as first, second or third item and you only build it versus AP. If you're struggling a lot early game versus a mage, it works pretty nice as a first item, otherwise it works really well after Yomu's as a second Dirk item, and even if you're not struggling versus AP at all that game, the Surge-like passive works fantastically well. Last Whisper should be fairly self-explanatory as well. Build it only versus tanks, or if they have some kind of healing that you need to stop, which is self-healing because Grievous Wounds only affects self-healing at this point. Other than that, unless in very weird circumstances you want to build it later on in the game, 4th, 5th item-ish, to get as much value as possible from your bonus armor penetration. QSS is probably pretty self-explanatory. You build it against CC, you can build just the QSS early and then finish it later on, or just build it later on if you want. Probably not a good idea to rush it though. Sterex is one of my favorite items right now. It works incredibly well on Zed. It stops you from being blown up, which happens more frequently than you know. Synergizes very well with Black Cleaver, and it also lets you go the tankier bruiserish build that I was showing at the start, which is Titanic Hydra as well. And this bruiser build works really well versus squishies, or if you're getting blown up. Before you build it, of course, you go a fairly normal Yomu's Ghostblade Black Cleaver, maybe a Moth Mortius, and then you go the Sterex plus Titanic, which works really well to help you stay alive, deal a little bit more damage, because Titanic adds a little bit burst. And then you round out the build with a Bork, which lets you stay on target for much longer, deal a lot of consistent damage over a long period of time because you're a little bit more tanky, and you will not need the Last Whisper because you're building it versus squishies who will not build tanky. So it rounds out your build very nicely. And I have already made a video on Duskblade and why I think it's a pretty good item on Zed, but not core item on Zed. It works really well for snowballing, and that is because the raw stats of Duskblade are fantastic. If you can pick up the BF Sword early game, you are getting a huge spike of AD, and you can build 3 Dirks without having to go Maw, which is huge. And I think that's that. There are of course other items you can build on Zed that I didn't bring up, such as Banshees or different tank items, or maybe Ravenous Hydra, etc. You can definitely innovate and build whatever you feel like, but these are the items I feel are key and core on Zed at the moment. If this video reaches 700 likes, I will either post my favorite way of winning any lane with any champion in any elo, or a personal story that I think you guys will enjoy. In either case, thank you guys very much for watching, and I will see you all next time. Peace.